big shout out. Go to SodenBowl.com and check him out check him out on YouTube. I know that's probably the best Madden players around, so go out there and definitely plug them.
Happy Veterans Day, Soden Bowl. I am S. Soden. I am here with you this Monday to go over a couple things. We have a new show that we're going to launch here. It is called Run It Back with S. Soden. What we are going to do is go back and kind of take a look at this past week's performances, or the current week in this case. This would be week number 13, season number 96, Soden Bowl. Of course, it's sponsored by Allied Plumbing and Heat, a name you can trust. If you are in the Colorado Springs area and you are in need of a plumber or HVAC, your furnace is out, whatever it may be, check out our allies at alliedphllc.com. You will not be disappointed. And then Best Buy. If you're in the market for a new TV, electronics, they even sell appliances now. You can actually shop online at bestbuy.com for the very best in electronic needs. I get a lot of my software there. A lot of the guys in the league get a lot of their stuff from Best Buy. So make sure you check them out. Support the cause. Bestbuy.com. With that being said, we have some games. We're about halfway done with week number 13. Of course, we had the usual Madden drama about this time of season. Some of the servers had to be updated from EA, and they had to take the servers down. I think it was like 24 or 48 hours. So with a little bit of a break in there, we resumed week 13. Wasn't too big of a deal in Soden Bowl. We do have a new owner. We have Timbo, who took over the Tennessee Titans. So we welcome him on board. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and move in here. And our first game on the lineup, we had a divisional rivalry game here. Crowd pleaser Saints at 10-2. They took on the Carolina Panthers and Crota II. You look at this game, and the Saints pulled this one out 17-13. It was a pretty good game there. We're gonna go in and take a look at one of the highlights here from this game. And we have Sam Darnold in the gun here. Only 33 seconds left in the game. Big play. And Darnold gets it done. That was a huge, huge play for the New Orleans Saints as Sam Darnold gets the job done there. Drew Brees, I think they forgot who Drew Brees is this season as the New Orleans Saints. They connect on that last second drive, about 30 seconds left in the game. The Saints come through, and crowd pleaser wins his 9th game in a row, wins that one at the end. The Saints are currently ranked the 11th best offense in the league and a pretty good defense, ranked number 13. Now, the Carolina Panthers, they are struggling a bit. Crota has lost his 8th game in a row. The Panthers kind of hang around the bottom, both in offense and defense. Looking back at the game stats, Sam Darnold, 185 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, getting it done. Alvin Kamara, 66 yards. And then Thomas, 50 yards, and he caught both touchdowns there and the game-winning touchdown that you saw on that broadcast. Cam Newton, 197 yards and a touchdown. Delvin Cook cannot get going in Carolina. He was held to 0 yards running. The leading rusher in the game was actually Cam Newton with a couple carries for 14 yards. And then Batson with 71 yards and a touchdown. And then the all-world linebacker Luke Kuechly with 5 tackles, and he did have a tackle for a loss. So we're going to go ahead move into our next game here. Next one was the Philadelphia Eagles at 6-6, taking on another divisional opponent here, the New York Giants. So Wyrock gets the win as he goes up against Reese Scrood. And Reese Scrood has lost 3 games in a row now. The Giants do have the 6th-ranked offense, and Barkley is absolutely tearing it up in the league. 117 yards on the ground for him in this game. We're going to go ahead and move into this one as well. And I have a highlight I want to show you from this game. So we will go ahead and move into this one. And Carson Wentz actually has the ball here. It's a tight game, as you see here. 16-14. Eagles looking to get some separation. And they're going to give the ball off tackle, and a great block upfield there by that tight end. And a nice stiff arm as he gets into the end zone. I want to take this back a little bit here. I'm going to mute the volume for you. I want to take this back just a hair. I want to show you this block. Let me bring it back. I'm going to pause it at the block. I turned the volume down for you so you guys can hear me. So great block upfield right there at the point of attack by the tight end. That allows that big run, and the tight end gets back upfield and almost makes another block there. So that is just a fantastic play. And the Philadelphia Eagles actually go on to win this game by the score of 23-14. They pick up a huge divisional win over a pretty good divisional opponent in the New York Giants. So Eagles get the win. They move to 6-6. They stay in that NFC East divisional playoff race with that victory. So that was almost a must win for them. So we're going to move into our next game here. Our next game, we have the Green Bay Packers. They get it done versus Phil's Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to JMO31. He's won 3 games in a row. The Packers they're in the top 10 in offense, but the defense they do need to improve on. They're down near the bottom on defense. Falcons having a pretty good year. They are number 13 in offense and then number 5 in defense. So fantastic job. We do have a highlight to show you from this game. So we're going to go ahead and move into this one here. Let me pull it up for you. We have Matty Ryan. It's a 7-7 ball game. Ryan's looking to go down the field, and he's looking to kind of take charge of this thing about midway through the second quarter here. And to me, this is the play of the game for the Green Bay Packers. So you see the blitz. He throws the quick pass to Jones and a nice move on the outside, and Alexander is off to the races, and he will score. That is a very, very nice play call. Great execution. I'm going to kill the volume here, and I'm going to bring this thing back just a little bit for you. I want to show you. Now watch Matt Ryan's pre-snap read. He's looking quick slant here to Julio Jones. I think this is a mistake, obviously, by Matt Ryan here. I think he should have sent Julio Jones deep on this play and not thrown that quick slant, because as soon as he drops back to throw, he has Gary in his face. We'll pause it right there. He has a very good jam on Julio Jones on the outside, another good jam on the right. He does have that tight end who's kind of breaking to the sideline. To me, the fullback does a really poor job of picking up this blitz. And there's the interception to Alexander. Now, actually, the fullback does pick up the blitz, but Alexander is gone. But either way, it forces Matty Ryan to throw a ball that he didn't want to throw there. And to me, that was the play of the game as the Green Bay Packers go up 14-7. As they move on to they take the lead 14-7 in this game. And from then, it was just really all Green Bay Packer football. As the Packers cruise into this one, 28-16 with a big win over Phil. Both teams locked at 8-4 here. Packers in first place by a couple games over the Chicago Bears. And the Atlanta Falcons really kind of in control of their own destiny as far as a wild card goes. But they are chasing a very good New Orleans Saints team. And we'll get to the Saints here. We did. The Saints beat the Carolina Panthers, and the Saints are 10-2, so they are down 2 games to the New Orleans Saints in that South. So a win here. The the Atlanta Falcons just need to keep winning. If they keep winning, they can get in as a wild card in that NFC playoff race. Now, there's a lot of good teams there. You look at my top 5 on the left-hand side there. You have the Jaguars at 11-1. The reigning Super Bowl champs. You have the Los Angeles Rams with the 1 seed in the NFC at 11-1. Then you have the Ravens and the Browns both at 10-2. And you see those Saints at the number 5 position, 10-2. They're just 1 game back of that number 1 seed. But if you are an Atlanta Falcons fan, you are looking up at that New Orleans Saints team. So you really just need to win your games, and you should get in. So let's go ahead and move on to our next game here. We're going to move into the King of Wakanda. He absolutely destroys the Cincinnati Bengals here. Sorry, Jim Jones. Jim Jones is the loser of 8 games in a row right now. He's in a bit of a funk. But the Texans get it done. King of Wakanda has won 4 games in a row now. That offense is ranked number 4 in the league. You look at Deshaun Watson, 245 yards. He has a pair of touchdown passes. They have the speedy Hunt in the backfield. He gets 69 yards running. And then Fowler, the trade recipient last year, Fowler moves over to Houston. He gets 4 tackles and 4 sacks as he's turning into an elite pass rusher there for the Houston Texans, replacing future Hall of Famer J.J. Watt. And looking over at the Bengals team, A.J. Green getting some work done there, 80 yards and a touchdown. He's been banged up the last couple years. And then Atkins, 2 tackles and 2 sacks in this game. Now, we do have some highlights to show you for this one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and move that in here for you. All right, we have Deshaun Watson here. The game's 20-7. He's trying to put this game away for the Houston Texans. We're going to let you watch here. He's got the blitz, and he gets rid of it. Safarian Jenkins, those of you new owners, I want you to pay attention to that blitz. That edge rush coming off the side is not picked up, but he gets rid of the ball. He knows his check down. Checks it down to Safarian Jenkins, and Jenkins sneaks into the end zone, and the Houston Texans roll in this game. As you can see here, as they are up 27-7 already in this one. And the Houston Texans roll 30-9. And Jim Jones is no slouch of an owner either. He's a pretty good owner. He's got really good stick skills. The Houston Texans doing a good job of taking what that Cincinnati Bengal defense gave them and just really capitalizing off of mistakes in that one. So the Houston Texans move on to 8-4 as they are still in the AFC playoff race, and the Cincinnati Bengals fall to 4-8. So they have visions of the draft coming up. So tough season in Cincinnati. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next game here. The next game was a true Soden Bowl game here. We have the Chicago Bears, Coach A. Soden. He was matched up against Coach D. Soden, Hall of Fame head coach. D. Soden won, and his Minnesota Vikings. Now, D. Soden took over the Vikings about 3 weeks ago. They are 2-10. D. Soden's on a bit of a slide. This is his 3rd loss in a row. Now, this game we broadcast on SBN. This was a fantastic game. It looked like the Minnesota Vikings were going to win this game as Coach A. Soden had a chance to tie the game with just about a minute, maybe a minute 30 left in the game. He had 4th and goal on the 1-yard line, and he elected to go for it instead of taking the field goal in the tie. He decides he wants to go for it, and he doesn't convert. But he's able to hold the Vikings, and eventually he does tie the game up, and this thing goes to overtime. I want to show you a highlight with this thing. I'm going to go ahead and move into the highlight on this game. Now, we are in overtime right now. It is 2nd down and 9. Game is tied at 17. Mitch Trubisky is having himself a game. He does have a lot of interceptions on the season in Soden Bowl, but he is the number 2 passer in yardage. He has done pretty good over the last couple weeks. This game, he did throw an interception on his opening drive in the red zone, in the end zone, looking for his tight end. Trey Burton is injured, so he has a backup tight end in there. He overthrew the tight end. It was intercepted. But since then, in this game, Trubisky was absolutely on fire. And the game tied at 17 in overtime. We'll let you go ahead and watch. So Trubisky comes out in the gun here. He has plenty of time to throw. They pick up the corner blitz, and he takes advantage of the safeties, splitting the safeties with that cornerback blitz that was picked up, and that is the ball game. That is a very, very good read by Coach A. Soden as his Chicago Bears really did a good job in this game. They seemed like they were overmatched by that Vikings defense early, but the Bears just got it done. Mitch Trubisky got very, very good pass protection, as you saw on that play. The Minnesota Vikings brought that corner blitz. It was picked up beautifully, and then Mitch Trubisky identified the hot receiver and took advantage of splitting the safeties and got the long touchdown and got the win, as D. Soden now loses 3 games in a row. A. Soden picks up the win after last week's loss in Green Bay. That Bears offense is ranked number 2 in the league right now. And if you look at the Bears, now they did pick up Todd Gurley, but aside from Todd Gurley, that offensive line is below average. The receiving core is average at best. But A. Soden is doing a fantastic job now. Khalil Mack is second in the league in sacks. He had 5 tackles and 4 sacks in this game. As you look at Mitch Trubisky, he throws for 394 yards and 2 touchdowns, with the biggest play coming in overtime. And then Miller with 146 yards and a touchdown. On the other side of the football, Blake Bortles, 161 yards passing. He does pick up the touchdown. That is Blake Bortles-like football. McCaffrey, 48 yards and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs goes over 100 with 116 and a touchdown. And then the superstar X-Factor safety, Smith, records 3 tackles, and he does get that interception I was telling you about earlier in the game. Actually the first drive of the game for the Bears, he does pick off Trubisky in the end zone, which was a huge play in that game. So the Chicago Bears' slim playoff hopes are still intact at 6-6. They are 2 games back of the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers own the head-to-head tiebreaker. So it's going to be a tough run for the Bears. I think their best shot is going to be to try to take that division and really just kind of hope that Coach JMO slips and loses 3 games, and they're really going to have to win out to have any shot. So the Chicago Bears, 23-17. Moving into our next game here. Next game was actually my game here. We have the Los Angeles Rams. Coach S. Soden versus brand new owner Marty Lowe, 9582. The Rams defense, story of the season so far for LA. The offense is pretty good too. You look at that Rams offense, they are number 5 in offense, but number 1 in defense. And again, Murray with 57 yards passing, 2 interceptions. Now, if you're keeping track, in both games versus the Rams this year, Murray has 79 total yards against that Rams defense in 2 games. Johnson with only 8 yards on the ground. And then Josh Gordon with 27 yards receiving. Ford does pick up a sack for the Arizona Cardinals. But the Los Angeles Rams' 3-headed running attack, Brown, Henderson, and then Tariq Cohen, they all kind of chip in about 30, 40, 50 yards per game. But, 3 different style backs, and you get 3 different results. Jimmy Graham with 51 yards. Now, Brandon Cooks did also come. He had about 60 yards, but Jimmy Graham did get the touchdown, so he gets on the scoreboard. J.J. Watt records his 22nd sack of the season, as he records 3 more in this game. 5 tackles, 3 sacks. J.J. Watt getting it done. We do have a highlight in this game as well, so I'm going to go ahead and take you into this game, as we have Kyler Murray trying to get his Arizona Cardinals back into the game. They just got a scoop and score off of a sack, fumble, return for a touchdown. Rams go down. Rams get about 10 more points. We're in the 4th quarter here, and the Arizona Cardinals have a legitimate shot at getting back into this game, but the Rams defense just doesn't want to let them do it. So Murray's going to come out in this pistol formation. And he throws, and there's the user switch to Blake Martinez, and he is gone. And that is a touchdown for the Los Angeles Rams. That is something that the Rams, there was actually 2 defensive touchdowns in this game for the Los Angeles Rams. That pass rush of the Rams, really what it does is it just forces opponents to throw the ball quicker than they're used to. And that translates into points and turnovers for the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Rams are at 11-1. They have won 10 games in a row. And that defense has recorded 4 shutouts along the way. So the number one defense here with Los Angeles, they moved to 11-1. They really have a good control of the NFC West right now. They do have the New Orleans Saints, a couple other teams on their heels as far as the number one seed in the playoffs go. But Rams should be a playoff team here at 11-1. I believe they've clinched a playoff spot. So we have the Rams winning easily at home versus the Arizona Cardinals, 34-7. So we're going to move into another game here. We have the 10-2 Cleveland Browns, Brap taking over for the Alpha Heel 7. The Alpha Heel 7 had to take some time off. Him and his wife have a baby that's due here pretty soon. So Brap comes in, and Brap wins his football game 27-24 over a solid Los Angeles Chargers team. That Chargers team ranks 4th in defense. You look at Bosa. Bosa recorded 4 sacks down there for the Chargers. And Bosa last season led the league with over 40 sacks, absolutely shattering the sack record for the Los Angeles Chargers. So a pretty solid Chargers team. They do have the superstar X Factor Phillip Rivers, and then Gordon III at running back. So lots of weapons in Los Angeles, but the Cleveland Browns, man, they just continue to win football games. They are playing very, very good football. You look at my power rankings list here, they are number 4 at 10-2. They did lose to the Baltimore Ravens. But this Browns team is for real. Baker Mayfield, 284 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was absolutely electric. We're going to go ahead and move this. We're going to move this thing in here to a highlight. This is my play of the game here. For the Cleveland Browns, you have Baker Mayfield coming out. Spreads the field in the snow in Cleveland, but he's not scared. Empty formation. He's got Bosa off the edge, one of the best sack guys in the league. And Mayfield sees something in the defense. And he throws a beautiful strike to Callaway, and Callaway is gone. And at this point, the Cleveland Browns were down 24-14 as the Chargers were really looking to take control of this game. And the Cleveland Browns get themselves right back into this game as they were trailing 24-21 at that point. But that to me was the play of the game for the Cleveland Browns. It got them right back into that game. And then they scored again, and it made it 27-24 as Cleveland pulls out the win in Los Angeles over a very, very good Los Angeles Chargers team. So we're going to move into our next game here. And we have Jiggy the J-Rod and his Baltimore Ravens at 10-2. Man, all this guy has done since he joined the league is win. He's beat some good opponents, too, along the way. And we have Darrell taking over a Denver Broncos team about midway through the season. He's done a pretty good job himself as well. Now, he is on a 3-game losing streak, but he's played some really tough owners. Baltimore moves it to 10-2. This was an awesome game. Looked like the Ravens were going to kind of storm out. Then all of a sudden, Denver comes back with Lindsey. Lindsey with 204 yards running and 3 touchdowns in this one. But Baltimore and coach Jiggy J-Rod, Jackson with 201 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Freeman with 68 yards on the ground. And then the tight end Andrews, 39 yards and records a pair of touchdowns. Xavier Rhodes with 2 picks. He does return one for a pick 6. We do have some highlights to go ahead and check out in this game as well. So I'm going to move you in. I'm going to move you into this one. Drew Lock's got the ball in the gun here. We're going to go ahead and let this thing play out. Now, Denver, it's tied at 31 here late in the 4th. Locke's trying to make something happen with his legs, and he gets hit. He fumbles the football, and that Baltimore Ravens defense scoops and scores, and that is your ball game in Baltimore as the Baltimore Ravens defense comes to play. Give Coach Jarrell some credit here, as he really had a shot to win this thing with Drew Lock. He did a good job. He did have the turnover there. He was trying to make something happen with his legs. But give the Ravens credit, man. That Ravens defense came to play. They hit Lock, helmet on the football, knocked it out, and then the presence of mind to scoop, score, and win this football game. And the Baltimore Ravens control their destiny in the AFC North, as they are in first place at 10-2. They do hold the tiebreaker. Currently, they have the number 3 ranking in my power rankings at 10-2, and really one of the best teams in that AFC. Now, you do have the Super Bowl champion Jacksonville Jaguars, but the Baltimore Ravens are playing really, really good football. So Baltimore gets it done. They win 38-31 over a pretty good Denver Broncos team. Moving into the last game, final game for my rundown for the Run It Back with S. Soden, we have the reigning Super Bowl champion Jacksonville Jaguars, number 1 in the power rankings, 11-1. The only loss came to the Cleveland Browns this year. They absolutely pulverized the Indianapolis Colts 44-9. Coach Big Mike struggling a little bit here. He lost 2 games in a row now, but going up against the Super Bowl champs and the number 1 offense in the league, number 9 in defense. Nick Foles getting it done, 224 yards and 4 touchdown passes. Coleman with 68 yards on the ground. DJ Chark Jr. with 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. All-world linebacker Miles Jack going the extra mile as he gets a sack and the interception in this one. Andrew Luck, 225 yards, a touchdown. Foreman with only 11 yards on the ground. Connolly busts 100 yards, does record a touchdown, and Geathers on defense gets 3 tackles, including a tackle for loss here. So we're going to go ahead and check out the highlight I have in this game for you. So we have Jacksonville coming out in a tight formation like they do all season. 9 out of 10 times. This is a run. Jacksonville does not run here. And they make Indianapolis pay on this play as the safeties just kind of, they don't get deep enough on this play, and Shark's all-world speed and a one-handed catch gets behind the defense. Foles throws it up for grabs, and he comes down one-handed, and this right here was pretty much the ball game. That was pretty much the ball game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is all that they needed as they cruise 44-9 against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the reason I showed you that highlight, that bomb on that deep post, is because a lot of people, the Jacksonville Jaguars ran for 3,000 yards total offense last season, total running. They had one back, Coleman, over 2,000 yards, and then Fournette almost broke 1,000 himself. And a lot of teams come in, and one, they have a bullseye on the Jaguars' back because the Jaguars are the reigning Super Bowl champs, but they know that the Jacksonville Jaguars possess one of the game's best running attacks in Soden Bowl, season number 96. So those safeties tend to keep their eyes in the backfield. They look for that run, and that play action kind of froze the safety on the left. The safety on the left does not get deep enough, and DJ Chark just outruns his corner and gets behind the safety in an easy pitch and catch for Nick Foles. And the Jacksonville Jaguars move to 11-1, and they win 44-9. Looking at our league leaders, if you look over on the left-hand side there, we have Jared Goff. He leads the league in quarterback rating with a 125 rating, getting it done for the Los Angeles Rams. And then Ronald Jones II from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is absolutely killing it again this year running. He is our number 1 running back. And then Hardman from the Kansas City Chiefs. He is already over 1,000 yards, almost over 1,100 yards. He has 59 receptions on the season so far, having himself a season opposite of Tyreek Hill. And then the sack master, Cameron Jordan of the Saints. He leads the league in sacks. He may actually break Bosa's record last year of 40-some-odd sacks Jordan, I think, is already at about 36 or 37 sacks. So that is all that I've got for you guys today. We hope you enjoyed the show. Check out on the bottom there, we have the links to our Facebook page, our Twitter. Again, welcome Timbo to Soden Bowl. He takes over the Tennessee Titans. And then check us out online at sodenbowl.com with some cool content out there. Guys, if you want to join the league, again, go to sodenbowl.com. There's some join details in there for you. With that being said, I am out of here. I am S. Soden. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Later.